Hi friends, it has been a little while and I hope you're well. It has been a hot minute since I've done videos like this, longer format, because life happened, many different things that would take far too long to go over, but that's okay, doing okay now, and that's what matters. And I recently went a bit out of my book ban that I was in at the start of the year and went a little bit crazy and may or may not have bought some books, but what I thought I'd do is just kind of show you my bookshelves and start organising everything as well. My room is kind of covered in a few different projects, so you can kind of ignore those, but for the most part I'll be showing you my bookcases and organising my books and probably doing a bit of a de-haul as well because I have far too many right now. And yeah, let's go. Alright, we're gonna start in a widescreen here just so you can kind of see it. These are like my main little bookshelves that I love a lot. I'll just show you my room. I've got a pretty small room. You can kind of see it from over here. It's small but cozy and packed, very maximalist, which is what I'm like. And I have books pretty much everywhere. The other main bookcase I have is this one here. And then I do actually have two bookcases behind my bed. This is great because I have some books here and I've got like a little thing I can put stuff on, and then behind there is where I keep all my plushies, so that's very handy. And I do have my Lord of the Ring books just up there as well as just a few little guys there too. As you can kind of see, I've started stacking books a lot just because I kind of got new ones and I haven't been bothered rearranging, and I've got some really cool Stormlight Archive stuff which I very love. A little bit of Elden Ring things as well. I'm still waiting on just like a few books, but most of them have come now, so it's a really good time to organise it all. I actually go to Japan in a few days, so it'd be nice to get this all nice and clean and ready. Now, starting up here, this is above my wardrobe. I have my lovely Bow and Yasha there, of course, and then my Lord of the Ring books here. The newest set I got were these ones, which these volumes, they are very expensive, but they are gorgeous, and I'm very pleased to finally have the other set as well. I think the rest of these, yeah, literally every single one of these was from an op shop, and then I've just got some kind of nicer, thicker ones up here in this little lovely version of The Hobbit too, which is really lovely. Like many, Lord of the Rings kind of has a special place in my heart, and no, I do not need this many copies of them, but that is like my peak aesthetic, the like fantasy elves, the kind of cottage, forest, hobbitcore, love it. So I have quickly just gone through and just kind of put that all together up there. The only book I'm getting rid of is I do have this copy of Return the King, which I actually have another one there which I like a little bit more, so I'm gonna re-op shop this one. It was just, yeah, again from another op shop. The way I kind of have this laid out is I have the big Billy bookcase, it's hard to say, and then two skinnier ones as well. These kind of act as like, almost like little showcase ones, if you will, like if you were setting up like a stall or something. So like a lot of my collectibles and things I really love tend to go here. These honestly change really often. Sometimes I'll just get into a new fandom or start collecting something new and then kind of replace them, which I find really fun. But yeah, I definitely want to change them up just a squidge, rearrange them, just so that everything flows and I can fit a few more things. I think probably the best start, like any of this, is to just take all the books off and then see how we go. Okay, not me like quickly realising that I'm gonna have to start putting books on the floor, and I've only emptied one bookcase. I watched videos of people doing this and I'm like, oh my gosh, so much fun. Oh my god, look how many books they have, and now I find myself in exactly the same situation. That's kind of the main stuff. I don't think I'm gonna fully empty these ones because I kind of have a rough idea of what I want to do with them, just a bit of rearranging. I do have to do this bookcase as well, but I'll probably start on these first, so at least that way I don't get too cornered in with books, because I don't have a heap of floor space to work with, but we'll see how we go. I'll probably do a part 2 of the actual bookshelf tour, just because that will make this video far too long if I included it right away. But you'll see kind of a mix of books here. I've got comics, some manga. I do actually have one more bookcase kind of in one of the living rooms, which we'll tackle with at the end. But for now, I've also got a lot of sci-fi, some fantasy, a lot of op shop or secondhand finds as well. I really enjoy that. I try not to hold on to anything I know I won't ever read, but you know, you do what you can. But yeah, some of these will be quite familiar, some of them probably not. I do have a lot of books that I really liked in my childhood as well, so I've kind of kept a hold of those too. So yeah, it's a very eclectic little fun bit, but let's do this bookcase now. Okay, we have a start. I've started moving things. I wonder what my favourite book is. Anyway, I do have some more manga and light novels, and then some larger format books, and then my comics, which I'm not gonna specifically remove just yet, but I will kind of rearrange as we go. Update. I have kind of gone through these and I'm pretty happy with them. I've moved it so these kind of two anime light novel shelves are together on this side. I had to rearrange it a little bit, as you saw, just to kind of fit my little book nook. You'll see I've got quite a few of them. I really like them. And then I've just gone through and got rid of a few of the old kind of, I used to be really into like botany drawings and stuff like that, so I had a few books I got rid of there, but otherwise this is also looking really good. What I've done here is all of this, I'm actually going to move down, so I have another room for some Stormlight Archive stuff, and then I've moved my D&D stuff up there, as well as Aragon, because it kind of fits nicely there as well. So let us continue. Okay, I think I am very happy with these now. So basically what I did is my lovely little Eco Shadow of the Colossus Last Guardian collection, I've moved down one, so I've now kind of got two sections for my Stormlight. So I've got all of my lovely little volumes of my coins. This is from the Stormlight Archive game, there's a few cards there, the lovely large figure, and then these three as well. And I think it goes very well. It's still maximalist, but not too packed anymore, which is great. And I just kind of briefly rearranged my Elden Ring stuff. I do have a Bloodborne art book, which I'll need to grab soon, but otherwise that's also looking really good. So that's making me very pleased. It's also now freed up a bit of room as well, because I have so many copies of these books that the other bookshelf was getting very packed. And then I'll just give this guy a little bit of a rearrange, but I'm pretty happy with that one. And then I can start actually putting books in my main shelves, which is exciting. Excuse that there's like literally everything everywhere, but I've just been looking at these books here. I love having my Assassin Apprentice books here, but I think I'm going to fill in here with a few things and maybe rearrange some of those. So I have to figure out exactly which books I want to go there. Alright, update, and I'm very happy. I forgot I had a few other Robin Hood books, so I've just kind of put them along there. And then here I still have some of my Magi Stiff Fighter books just fell over, and I put the Avatar ones there. So these are all hardcovers, which I really like. So I think they all fit good. Oh my god, stop. And then I also have the little graphic novel of the first Assassin's Apprentice there as well. Alright, I am pretty thrilled with how this has turned out. I have purposely left a little bit of room here because I do want to eventually get the rest of the Mistborn series, but I think it sits very nicely, so I am very happy. I've also kind of fit all my comic books. This is getting pretty tight, but we'll see what we can do. And then everything else is looking very smooth and lovely. little update. I have managed to do my kind of classics at the top here, moving down to some of my vampire stuff. Like I said, I've got so many little book nooks and everything, so trying to get everything to kind of fit around that is a little bit of a challenge, but we're getting there. Otherwise, I'm very happy with how it's looking so far, and time to move on to these next little shelves. I reckon I'm going to go kind of like start moving into the more fantasy sci-fi, then moving down to kind of general YA or things I really liked as a kid, so we'll see how that goes. Okay, as you just saw, I have started putting these ones there. It's working out pretty well. Look, at this point, because I am a little bit limited with space, some of the books that go together and the genres are a little bit random, especially this one here. You kind of have your little Star Trek into June, into FNAF, into Percy Jackson, into random fantasy dystopian. Same with down here, these are all just kind of random books. It's always like a fun struggle when you have these like much larger books compared to the smaller ones and getting them to organize, and I actually quite like how the colors turned out here, so I'm pretty happy with that. Last, I just need to do this shelf, which will be some of my kind of childhood books that I still really love. Anything that doesn't fit here I'll put on my other bookcase, and then we're going to see how much room I've got left over, and I will show you what I'm not keeping as well. Alright, let's do it. And she's done. Tell me why that was actually really easy. I've actually got a little bit of space here as well, which is kind of crazy, kind of great. Again, I'll go through my other bookcase and see if I want to fill it. But otherwise, everything's looking really good. Generally, I do prefer not to stack my books too much if I can help it. Like if there's a little one like up there, that's fine. But otherwise, just because I do tend to have a lot of kind of decor on my shelves, it does help a little bit if it's not too stacked up here. Just kind of stops it from being a little bit too much, which is very hard for me to get to, but sometimes I do. Okay, but for real, when you get like box sets of stuff, what do you do with these? Like, this one's obviously a bit beat up. I got this whole set from an op shop for super cheap, which was great, but like this one was a brand new one, but I don't know if I'm ever really gonna use it. Like, sometimes I'll keep a few of them to like make my own little book nooks, but like I don't think I'm ever gonna use it again. Maybe I'll just get rid of it. I don't know. What do you guys do with them? Alright, so this is my other bookcase, which is kind of in like our second living room. This holds a lot more DVDs and a lot of childhood books as well. Like many collectors, I'm very nostalgic, so I love holding on to these things. I guess for my own memory's sake, maybe one day I'll pass them on, but I do just want to make sure there is nothing else I'd like to donate. Just down the bottom here, these two shelves actually have these white containers, which are also from IKEA. These actually hold kind of more older fan stuff, so I've got some figures, I've got lots of charms as well, lanyards, you know, old convention passes and all that kind of stuff. If I kind of pull one of them open, you can kind of see it's like a fun little mixed bag of just things that I don't particularly have a spot for in my room, but I still want to hold on to. This one has a few little plushies and there's figures under there as well. And then yeah, most of these are figures that are all wrapped up, mostly One Piece and Monogatari. Things that I love but can't necessarily display right now. I do have a couple of cute little Pokemon figurines and some props as well. And then I've got some little, just a couple of little these guys as well, of course. Some manga behind there, some real classics that again can't quite part with. I used to collect manga a lot. I don't quite have room to keep everything, but I've still kept some of my favorites. So yeah, I'll roughly go through this and I'll let you know what I don't end up keeping. Alright, thankfully that was super quick and easy. This stuff, I find it a lot harder to kind of declutter again because there's a lot of memories attached to them. So as long as I've got space to keep them, and yes, it's very full, but it's not too bad, luckily. I just moved some of my manga, Japanese manga that was in my room back up here, and I've pulled a few things to put back in my room. I've got Final Fantasy 15 I want to put in my room. This is just an old YA novel I loved, and then I found these Spiderwick Chronicle books at an op shop and put them back in my room if I've got the space. And then the two things I'll be getting rid of, just two Japanese manga that I don't really need anymore or don't really ever have the thought to flick through, so I'll just be donating those. But yes, I'm very pleased that was nice and quick and easy. I also have some sketchbooks and kind of folders and prints and stuff. Sometimes if I table at a convention and want cosplay prints, this is kind of all things for that, and a couple of old sketchbooks. So there's, like I said, my little figures, and then we've got some wonderful DVDs, the little Buffy and Angel box set, of course, and a couple of other favourites because you never know when DVDs are handy, and a couple other of my favourite figures I've just kind of got displayed here. And then the very, very top I've got little Spidey, little Voltron, of course, and then two little book nooks I've made that live here as well. Alright, I'm going to show you what I am removing from my collection. I'm a little bit surprised. I actually thought I would have to get rid of a lot more, but because I have quite limited space, I'm pretty good at being like, oh, having a look at it and being like, oh, I haven't really thought about reading that recently, or maybe it was like an op shop find and I find myself not really wanting it in my collection. So I'm pretty good at doing the whole bringing a book in and taking one out. That being said, I did get rid of a few things, so I'll go through those now. First one is Calamity by Brandon Sanderson. I found this at an op shop and I actually got it because Brandon Sanderson, but don't really see myself reading this, so I'm gonna, hopefully some other little fantasy lover or sci-fi lover will enjoy that. This is what I was saying earlier, the kind of Return of the King. Don't get me wrong, I love what this looks like. It's so like the yellowed pages, I love that, but because I have so many copies of this, I just don't need it. If I had the full set, maybe, but this one can go. Similar reason, this is The Royal Assassin, which is, I think it's the second book in the first trilogy with Robin Hobb. This cover is everything. I love it so much. So I think what I'm going to do is I'm going to take a picture of the cover and then donate the book, because I really don't need this cover. It doesn't match any of my other ones, and if I read this book, I'm going to read my other copies anyway. Next we have two classics that I haven't ever touched. Again, I think they were both from op shops. We have Carrie. It's a pretty beat up edition, which I kind of like. It's quite charming, but yeah, I'm never going to reach for this. And then we have Gulliver's Travels as well, which is this little cute edition. I actually think I got this free from like a work thing where people were giving away books. Again, I've never touched it. I have a few kind of other books. I've just got a couple, one about Reiki, one about something, Secret Path, I don't know. Again, sometimes when I go to book sales, these are like a couple for $1 or something, but these two I kind of am never gonna read. Back in the day, I liked having books that were very kind of light and weren't necessarily a story. It was just something to kind of distract my brain if I needed a little bit. So I have this one, which is the Australian Star, which is really cute. I did enjoy reading this. It was just like about like etiquette and stuff like that. It's kind of when you go down like the wiki rabbit hole, it's what this felt like, but I don't need it anymore. Kind of similarly, I have this Fairies illustrated book. I am tempted to keep this purely for scrapbooking because it does have some cute images in it. So I might actually just put that with my arts and craft stuff instead, because like it's cute to go through, but it, again, you kind of, a lot of this information is online instead, and well, I love the pictures, so I'll probably use that instead. Last up is just a botany book. Again, back in the day when I used to do like more plant sketches and whatnot, I loved having like references, you know, again, super cheap from op shops, but I don't really do that hobby anymore, so I'm gonna get rid of this one. And there you go, that is all of my books in my room, which is, yes, a lot. I'm hesitant to count them because I don't actually know how I do that. Like, do manga count? Do comic books count? I have no idea. Let me know, but otherwise I might just count all of my novels and we'll see where we're at. But for now it's a lot. The next step now is to put all of the decor back onto my shelves. I love having little trinkets. It's one of my favorite things to both thrift for, but when I travel I love grabbing trinkets as well. So I'm just going to spend a bit of time to putting that all back together, and then I will do the final overview and then we will be done. Hooray! I have put back all of my decor. I've mixed around just a little bit just to kind of suit the shelves a little bit more, and I'm really happy with it. Everything fits really nicely. Now that everything is done and organized, I'll just really quickly give like a quick showcase and then I'll do a tour in the next video. I have my little jewelry box and then Elden Ring, then some of my Stormlight stuff as well. I really like how these are on the stands. I actually wanted to showcase even more cards, but I just don't quite have the room. So for now I am happy, and yes, that is a pattern on the wall. Moving down, we have my lovely little collection here. And then up here, some of my classics. I've got this little lantern I thrifted, these lovely little flowers, and then some Elden Ring stands, of course. Two little different jugs, again thrifted. My little book nook. I've got a few of these dragons scattered around. They're actually my dad's, but I love them a lot. There's another little guy there above the Wheel of Time, which is fantastic. Another book nook. Another little mini craft. You can tell I'm obsessed. My little Andor figure. No, I won't be taking any questions. Little Spurk charm right there. Moving down, this is my little Good Omens clear file, which I love, and a little thrifted holder. Some more books, little Animal Crossing, of course, and then some other bits and pieces here. We have my D&D stuff, a little bit of a Leobardo shelf there, some Sandman, Witcher, good stuff. Got all my records there as well. My 2 Death Stranding, and then down the bottom it's hard to see, but that is my Horizon Zero Dawn and Detroit Become Human shelf. Next we have all my comics, and I put some of my stands and little trinkets back up as well. And then we have my archive with some little thrifted, and this is from a Ren Fair. Little picture, little dragon of course. Here we have, this is actually an old jewelry case I turned into a mini. Yes, I'm a little bit obsessed with them. Some more little trinkets that hold bits and pieces. My little Ib Nendroid, and Nendroids aren't my favorite thing, but I'm a huge Ib fan and I think she's very cute. And this cute little bookshelf I bought in Venice. Moving down, it is the spooky season. And then another little book nook I've put together. Down here we've got one of the few anime figures I've got in my room, which is the Shinobu, and then a couple of other little trinkety good things. And then we've got my bigger large books, and then yes, this is a giant hourglass that I love very much. Super happy with how this turned out as well, my kind of Robin Hobb stuff around here. And then I've got all of my different hardcovers and this lovely little skull that I got from a fair as well. I didn't really show up here, but there's just a little Bilby. Just ignore him. I didn't really show up here, but this hasn't really changed either. These are just some more kind of trinkets or travel trinkets and whatnot. I just have a few books. I've got some of the the Thomas Covenant books up here as well as some there. And then I've got another Heinlein book there too, and then a few different bits and trinkets. And excuse the pretty extreme lighting changes. We are now getting into the evening, but I somehow managed to finish this relatively quickly, which I'm very pleased with. And I hope you enjoyed kind of organising with me and look forward to that book tour. Thanks so much.